Do you ever feel like you're fighting something you can't quite name? You set the rules, you monitor the apps, you pray over your children every night, and yet something is off. Something in their eyes when they put the phone or tablet down, something in the way they answer a moral question now that they didn't used to answer that way. You're right to notice it. But I want to suggest something today that might be uncomfortable. We have misidentified the enemy. We've been treating it like this is a screen time problem, like a discipline problem, like a kids these days problem. It's not. It's a formation problem. And there's a force in your child's life right now that is doing the forming quietly, constantly, and it has an agenda. Let that sit in for a minute. Today, we name it, and then we do something about it. Welcome back to Fortifying Righteous Warriors. I am your host, and if you're new here, this channel exists for one reason: to equip Christian moms, grandmothers, and other young warriors to navigate the digital world in unshakable faith. This video is part one of a three-part series called Raising Righteous Warriors in the Age of AI. Here's how the series is structured. Today, part one is the diagnosis. We're going to name exactly what's happening to your child's mind, their morals, and their identity when AI enters the picture. Part two, it's already live. Link is in the description below. It is the prescription. I'm handing you a complete family digital audit and a conversation guide you can use this weekend. Practical steps, no tech degree required. And in part three, it's also live, link below, is the revelation. We pull back the curtain on what's exactly powering AI, the data centers, deceptions, and what a Christian family needs to know about it. That one surprised even me. Watch all three, share all three, because what I'm about to tell you is not reaching Christian families anywhere else. Now let's get to work. This isn't about screen time. It's about who's forming your child. The world says AI is a tool, like a calculator, like Google, neutral. Here's a problem with that. Calculators don't have opinions about your child's identity. Google doesn't tell your 14-year-old daughter whether she's loved. AI does. Right now, and I mean right now today, over 100 million young people are using AI chatbots regularly. Not for homework, for companionship, for emotional support, for answers to questions they're too afraid to ask their parents. 1 in 12 American children is spending north of 5 hours a day in digital spaces. 5 hours a day. Now ask yourself this. How many hours a day is your child spending in the world? How many hours in prayer? How many hours in intentional conversation with you? I'm not asking to shame you. I'm asking because the math matters, because whoever gets the most hours gets the most formation. And right now, in millions of Christian homes, AI is winning the race. This is not a technology problem. This is a discipleship problem. And the Righteousness Code has something very specific to say about it. Guard your heart above all else, for it determines the course of your life. Not protect your heart, not watch your heart, guard it, like a soldier at a gate, like a parent at the front door of their home. The Hebrew word there is nastar. It means to keep watch, to preserve, to protect from attack. King Solomon wasn't writing poetry. He was given military instruction because he understood something that every parent in this room needs to understand today. The heart is the battleground, and it does not guard itself. Now, the Honesty Code, the second of our 5 codes, says this: purity in the face of deception. Not purity as in imperfection, not purity as in never making mistakes, purity as in an uncontaminated source. Pure water supply isn't one that never encountered impurity. It's one that's been filtered, treated, protected by a system designed to keep contaminants out. Your child's heart is that water supply. And for years, since before they could read, you have been the filtration system, the parent, the guardian, the one who decided what went in and what stayed out. Here's what's changed. AI doesn't knock on your front door. It lives inside the device your child sleeps next to. It answers them at 2 a.m. when they can't sleep. It tells them they're understood when they feel like nobody else gets them. It speaks to the loneliness. It speaks to the confusion. It speaks to the identity question. And it speaks with a voice that has been trained deliberately on billions of data points about what makes a person feel heard. It is very, very good at this. It is not neutral, and it does not share your values. In Proverbs 22:6, train up a child in the way he should go, and even when he is old, he will not depart from it. We've read this as a promise, and it is. But here's what we've missed. It's also a warning. Train a child in the wrong way and let the wrong voices form them, and they will not depart from that either. Formation is not optional. It happens whether you direct it or not. The question is never, will my child be formed? The question is always by whom? Here are 5 signs that AI has become a moral authority in your child's life. I want to give you something practical right now. 5 signs, real ones, documented ones, and I want you to watch yourself as I go through this list because I've shared this with hundreds of Christian parents and nearly everyone recognizes at least one of them. Sign number 1, they quote AI like it's fact. Not, I read that or someone told me, but a confident, declarative statement about morality, identity, or truth, delivered with certainty of someone who has already consulted the final authority. The world says that's just research. But God says the one who states his case first seems right until the other comes in and examines him. It's from Proverbs 18:17. When the examination never happens because the AI is always available and you are not always present, the AI wins by default. Sign number 2, they express confusion about values that they were rock solid on before. Not honest wrestling, not the healthy questions that lead to a deeper faith, but confusion, fog, and inability to articulate what they believe or why they believe it. If your child used to know about what they believed about right and wrong, and now suddenly everything is complicated, track when that shift happened and what was in their life when that confusion arrived. Sign number 3, they show emotional withdrawal symptoms without their device. This one is clinical. It is documented. The American Psychological Association has flagged AI chatbot dependency as an emerging mental health concern, specifically in adolescents. One mother wrote in a public forum this month, and I'm paraphrasing, my daughter talks to her AI app more than she talks to me. When I took the phone, she cried for 2 hours like she's lost a friend. That's not a phase. That is dependency. The righteous warrior is empowered by the Holy Spirit, not tethered to a machine. Sign number 4, they become secretive about their online activity. Not the normal privacy of adolescence. Secretive, evasive, a quick screen flip when you walk in the room. A new habit of taking their phone into the bathroom. The responsibility code says accountability in the face of chaos. Accountability cannot function in secret. If your child has learned from somewhere that what happens on the device should stay on the device, that is formation, and it's pointing the wrong direction. Sign number 5, they push back on biblical truth using language you've never heard them use. This is the one that stops parents cold. Your child using academic sounding language they didn't have 6 months ago, arguing against a position you've held as a family for their entire lives. Now, Healthy theological discussion is a gift. I celebrate that. But when it comes paired with the other 4 signs, when the source of the language is an AI system tainted on secular university data sets, that's not a theological awakening. That's a hostile discipleship process operating inside your home without your knowledge or your consent. I want to acknowledge something here. If you've recognized yourself in any of those 5 signs, don't panic. Don't grab the phone and throw it in the trash. Part 2 of this series gives you the exact steps and the exact conversation guide to address every single one of these. But I need you to stay with me for a few more minutes because the most important thing I have to tell you is still coming. Quick pause here. If this is landing for you, if you feel like this is the conversation you've been needing to have, I want to ask you to do one thing right now. Hit subscribe, not for me, for yourself. Because part 2 of this series is the most practical thing I've ever put on this channel. A complete family digital audit, free, printable, doable this weekend. And part 3 is the one that my own jaw dropped making. I don't want you to miss them. So all right, let's get back to it. We've named the problem. We have identified the 5 signs. Now I want to equip your child with something they can carry into every digital interaction for the rest of their lives. It is called the Discern test. Pillar 4 of the honesty code is called deployment. Foundation builds the base, empowerment activates the fire, formation shapes the character, but deployment is where it gets real because a trained warrior who never deploys is just a well-equipped civilian. Your child needs to be able to go into digital spaces, and they will, and think clearly, independently, and biblically. The Discern test is 3 questions. 3, that's it. Teach your child these 3 questions and you handed them a weapon they can use on any AI response, any social media post, any piece of digital content for the rest of their lives. Question 1, is this truth or is this opinion dressed up as fact? AI is remarkably confident. It speaks in declarative sentences. It doesn't hedge. It doesn't say some people believe. It says research shows and experts agree, and it is generally accepted. Teach your child to stop and ask, who decided this? What is this claim built on? Is there a Bible verse that speaks to this? Romans 12:2. Do not conform to the pattern of this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind. The renewed mind does not receive information passively. It tests it. Question 2. Does this bring me closer to God or further from Him? This is the discernment question. Not, is this obviously simple? That's easy. The harder question is the subtle one. Does engaging with this content make me feel more like Christ? Or does it increase my love for God and for others? Does it produce the fruit of the Spirit? Love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, gentleness, self-control? Or does it produce something else? Confusion, anxiety, comparison, pride, isolation. The fruit test doesn't lie. Philippians 4:8. Whatever is true, whatever is noble, whatever is right, whatever is pure, whatever is lovely, whatever is admirable, if anything is excellent or praiseworthy, think about such things. That is a filter. Apply it. Question 3. Would I be comfortable if my parents or my church family could see this conversation? This is the accountability question, the one that reconnects the digital world to the real one. Because here's what AI does very strategically. It creates a private space, just you and the machine, nobody watching, nobody judging, nobody to hold you accountable. The righteous warrior understands that accountability is not the enemy of freedom. It is the guardian of it. Print these 3 questions out. Put them on the refrigerator. Make them a dinner table ritual. Say them together until your child can say them in their sleep. The world is training your children with millions of data points. You are training them with 3 questions rooted in the eternal Word of God. Don't underestimate what God can do with that. I want to end today with the courage code because everything I said to this point, the 5 signs, the formation problem, the discern test, none of it matters if we stop here. Knowledge without action is just anxiety with better vocabulary. The courage code says it's the virtue that goes first. Not the virtue that waits until everything is perfect. Not the virtue that activates once you've taken a 5-week course and have a certification and feel completely ready. The virtue that goes first. That means the conversation you're afraid to have, you will have this week. That means the phone you've been meaning to look through, you look through it. That means the question your child asked you about AI that you deflected because you didn't know how to answer, you go back and say, hey, can we talk about that? I've been thinking about it. Courage is not the absence of fear. I've said that before and I'll keep saying it. Courage is what happens when faith gets bigger than fear. Now the legacy pillar, that image of the righteousness code, the older man handing a lit torch to the younger one, that is you. You are the one holding the torch right now. Your children are reaching for it. And here's the sacred reality of this moment. The fact that you found this video, the fact that you watched it all the way to here is not an accident. I don't believe in accidents. I believe in a God who positions his people at exactly the right moment with exactly the right information to protect exactly the right children. You are a righteous protector, not because you have all the answers, not because you have a perfect handle on technology, but because you said yes to the mission when it mattered. That is the courage that goes first. And that torch you're holding right now, your children will carry it for the rest of their lives. Let me bring this home. Today we've covered 3 things. 1, this is not a screen time problem, it's a formation problem. The question is never will your child be formed, it's by whom. 2, there are 5 specific signs that AI has become a moral authority in your child's life. You know them now. Watch for them. And 3, the discern test. 3 questions your child can carry into every digital space. Truth or opinion? Closer to God or further? Would you be comfortable people who love you could see this? Here is one of your action steps for this week. Have one conversation with your child using those 3 discern questions. Not a lecture, not a confrontation, a conversation. Ask them how they use AI and listen. Walk them through the test together. One conversation. That is your assignment. Part 2 of this series is already live. I'm handing you the full family digital audit and the step-by-step conversation guide. It's in the description. Go there next. And drop a comment before you go. Tell me which of those 5 signs you've already seen in your home. I read every single one of them. Because this community is where righteous protectors find each other. And together, we do not lose our children to this. 5 codes, 4 pillars, 1 mission. Let's go.